traveling for work sounds glamorous. Jet setting across the country or even the world while getting paid to do so, you must be doing very well. However, these expectations, how realistic are they? Private jets, smooth sailing, cruise control, holidays on someone else's dime? That Hollywood lifestyle, right within arm's reach 24/7. I hate to break it to you, but it's not quite like that. 8:49, let's check in with 3 massive bags. Fly to Sydney, let's see how long this takes. Oh, yeah. You see, traveling for work in video production means you've got to bring a lot of stuff. Now, before the comments light up with, just hire the gear when you get there, etc. I'm well aware that's an option. But what I think gets overlooked in conversations about traveling for video work are the limitations that you're forced to adapt to. Okay, we're on the plane. This is the view. When you're jumping into a tin can that's flung across the sky, you don't really have the liberty of space. You've got to pack intelligently with planning and foresight, so every little thing you bring has value. This means knowing how and what you're going to shoot.
Smolen?
We're in Sydney. We'd be on our feet for about 16 hours. So we needed to pack in a way that meant we could carry everything we needed on our person and not bring everything and the kitchen sink. This is in the bottom of our lift. Soccer, the World's game. Basketball, shoot for the business. If you know, you know.
You know, you know.
I've done jobs in the past where I've been shooting in and around an international airport, or another time shooting stills and video of a traveling group of around 20 people across 10 days internationally. Those jobs are marathons. You're working without the usual resources at your disposal. So embracing the limitations and picking gear or solutions that work across the broadest range of situations possible is the key.
We're here the morning of walking to the event. We've slept.
It was a very deep sleep.
Deep sleep for deep, powerful work today. Yeah. Come at me, 16 hours on my feet. Let's go.
We've also driven out to some very remote locations.
So we're out here on set filming our ad, and we've just got some extras that have just shown up. Stop horsing around, guys. Get back to work.
You don't have the option of popping out to grab an extra bit of gear or that nice to have thing. It's all necessities with you, and that's it. Also, for the most part, you're not afforded the luxury of time. Typically, you arrive the day before, or even in some cases, the day of the job, and then you go out and do the thing.
So one of the joys of doing the recce is that you get lost, and you do that the day before your event. So getting lost doesn't impact your ability to do the event.
Yeah, planning prevents poor performance.
Poor performance, which is what we've got going right now.
Now, all of this sounds very doom and gloom, and yeah, I'm not really touching on the perks of traveling for work. There's lots of them. Cool people, cool places, cool stuff. But it's the limitations that make the work a really special experience. So I want you to cast your mind back to a time where you were given a task with very loose boundaries. Write something, draw something, make a video. It's almost enough to freeze you in place, to stop you from ever wanting to do anything ever again. No limits mean no guidelines. No guidelines mean no inspiration. In Videoland, there's a lot of talk about whether gear matters or not, but ultimately it's just a tool. And by limiting the tools you have at your disposal, it guides your hand and starts nudging you in a certain direction. So in a way, those expectations that seemed so hard to meet initially are now framed with a new perspective that the limitations offer. The reality of traveling for a shoot means planning your approach and planning for limitations. It forces your hand to commit to a certain look and feel, and it gives the whole project a unique perspective. Go back to that idea of draw something. Well, what if I said draw an elephant on a unicycle riding through a forest being chased by alligators in helicopters? All of a sudden you've got a really clear idea about what you need to do to make that a reality.
So we're done. 16, 17 hours later.
Massive day.
Big day. We're done.
Yeah.
We're walking back to the hotel to dump gear,
And dump
data, and dump a beer into our bodies. It's going to be
glorious.
delicious.
Yeah, I love it. That's so good.
So make sure you set some creative boundaries and play within them. If you're looking to make anything, don't try and do everything. Also, it's pretty wild looking back on some of this footage that I just got to walk out on a tarmac in Dubai and planes were there just taking off. Mind-boggling that that was a real thing that I got to do.